Avatar Fire and Ash review. Let's get right into this. So this review is going to be all over the place. I'm very bad with the names, and I remember I was going to make a video about Avatar Way of Water way back in 2022, and I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I know the names. Terrible with the names. So forgive me for a lot of the names, most of the characters in this movie. I'm going to be like, oh, okay, I'm not going to say their name, okay, because I'm not going to know their name, even how to pronounce it, okay? I don't even remember it. So for most people, I'm going to be saying like, oh, this is, Jake's son, like, stuff like that. Trying to describe the character I'm talking about. So sorry, but, this is how it is. I still want to talk about this movie. But yeah, anyways, let's get into this. So, this movie, I loved it. I think that's the best way of saying it. For context, I enjoyed Avatar, the first one. Enjoyed Avatar Way of Water. And this movie is an extension of Way of Water, right? Because James Cameron said it's one story, but you had to split into two parts, right? And you can definitely see that. What do I want to say? I think the reason, besides the spectacle, which is one of the main reasons why everyone loves Avatar, I'd say for me, it's the world building and stuff like that, right? And also the messaging or the lessons that can be learned from it, right? The movie is really just about, or not in the whole franchise, I guess you can say, is just about really humanity, right? There's a lot of division, as we can see, between, what do you want to call them? Earthlings? What do you want to call them? Just humans, and essentially, avatars, right? Whatever humans consider them, well, depending on the point of view, you know what I mean? They consider each other aliens, but you know what I mean? Just how they're different, right? How they look different and stuff like that, how they just function differently. Yeah, so that's one of the main things about what I like about Avatar, and this movie goes even expands a lot further. What else is there? For the world building, especially, I like how the mythology. The mythology is so good in this. A good part of this movie is them trying to establish, what are their names too? I forget the name, but Jake's son. You know how he has that one creature he's really good friends with. And then also they're trying to get the higher up, you know what I mean, of that, that type of creature, you know what I mean, that whole council thing that they had going on. I love that part, and especially the part that got to me was when we even saw this in Way of Water, right? They were kind of, I guess, following up on that, but we saw how the sea creatures, right, were being, or the sea animals, whatever you call it, sorry, how they were being just hunted by Earthlings, people from Earth, humans, and it is really just brought it's got me so sad, you know what I mean? Because it's still, even though they're not technically human, right? It just gets you upset. You're like, come on, why are you doing that? Why are you doing this to life? And on top of that, you see another part of just destruction, right? Just seeing people's where they live, their habitat, their livelihoods and stuff just get perished due to fire, right? No pun intended, but just seeing all this destruction stuff and realizing, oh, this is where people live, and this is how they they use these places to live and stuff, to function every day, and then to see that all just perish, it's pretty sad to see, right? So those are things I really liked, or well, some of the things I really liked, but in terms of the humanity stuff. And what else? There was, I guess we'll get into more of the other themes. The metal poisoning theme, and this kind of in reference to the main example, the big idea that the guns, how, what's it, Na'vi, right? Okay, I'm pretty bad for remembering names. Na'vi, right? They're not supposed to use metal like guns, right? Because it poisons, just poisons the mind, essentially, right? It poisons the person who's using them. And it's just against their culture, right? The religion, however you want to say it. And I just really like the way they expand on this theme, because you even see it in ways where there's other very extreme stuff that I didn't expect in this. I don't recall. I haven't seen the other two Avatar movies in a long time, so that might have been, maybe I forgot something, but I don't recall some of this. There was some very serious stuff in this movie. I was genuinely shocked. I'm whoa. And I think this movie's PG-13, is it not? I'm pretty sure it is. So I'm whoa, they got away with that. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, they even had the themes of of like suicide in here, right? You had Jake's son. Literally, he had the metal gun, right? And everything was pretty much just coming crashing down on him, right? Obviously, a fault from what happened to in the end of Way of Water, his brother, and then just like the aftermath of that with everything else is going on, right? So you saw that one scene there where I'm like, whoa, I was like, don't do this. Don't do this. Where he was about to just shoot himself, right? With the gun. And the one thing is, obviously, we know the one thing is like with everything's going on in his life. But also, the other thing is metal, right? That's the theme, metal. The guns are poisoning you, right? They just bring pain. That's so the way they kind of tie that into stuff, I really liked. And another thing was kind of I guess this one, depending on the way you see it, it could be a reach or not. But another scene I really liked was when Jake almost was his name. Spider, right? Spider, I think. Yeah, I think it's Spider. I might be wrong. Apologies, but when Jake, he almost kills Spider. Spider really risks his life, right, to get Jake out of there, and then he's like, yeah, nah, we need to get rid of him. Like, bro, he's the whole 180 on him. Like, bro, what? This is the worst time possible you could be doing this. And this is all after, like, even after when, let's talk about this now, after when Jake talks to, bro, I forget the characters' names, goddamn. I don't even know how to say her name. But when Jake talks to his wife, right, about how her ways are wrong, essentially her thinking of just, what's she call them? Pink people, humans, right? Pink people. And pretty much in relation to how she was talking about, like, Spider and stuff like that, how all of them are just bad. She's like, you need to get rid of him. And they kind of switch roles later on in the movie when, after the whole, like, breaking out Jake and stuff, and Spider pretty much just, like, put his life on the line there. Yeah, they switch roles, because then Jake is like, oh, wait, I realized this is the only way, because if they get a hold of him, we're done. We're done. They're gonna all be able to breathe. All the Earth people are gonna be able to, all these humans are gonna be able to breathe, on Pandora and stuff. And then we're gonna be done. They're gonna, like, fully take over. So, yeah, and then at that point she was opposed to it. But then Jake still went through with it, and I'm like, no way she's just gonna let that happen, right? But luckily, like, it didn't happen. But man, when he's like, Father, please don't, and the whole dynamic with his actual father and Jake, it really got you there. And then they even still also expanded on it later on in the movie as well, because the main thing about this movie was really, or one of the main things was about like fathers, right? Like, I guess co-parenting. I don't know what do you want to, like, label it as, but that was another thing. So yeah, like Spider, I remember in Way of Water, I'm like, this guy kind of sucks. I hate this character. I thought this character's kind of annoying in Way of Water, but then in Fire and Ash, I'm like, whoa, I really enjoy his character. I don't want him to die. And even in the ending, you see him still, like, trying to clutch up, right? So I don't know, like, my respect, my liking of this character has dramatically. I've done a 180 as well. Yeah, so I don't know. Spider was honestly might have been the MVP of this movie. I really like Spider. What else? Yeah, he's like, Father, like, please don't do this. And Jake, I'm like, what's going on, Jake? And I kind of started thinking, like, was it because of the metal poisoning him potentially? Because we did see him, like, having big part do with guns in this movie as well, right? So maybe I'm like thinking maybe it could have been because of that, and he kind of just snapped out at the last second, because otherwise he's gonna, like, use a knife on him. Like, damn, that's crazy. And then even his wife came in last moment, kind of afterwards, and they were so happy. And there you can finally see they're like a happy family. She finally accepts Spider for who he is, right? She's realizing that not all humans are bad, right? So like I said, goes back to humanity there. So, yeah, it's just great stuff there. What else? There was, I think one of my favorite sequences was in the beginning of the movie, right? And sorry, I'm all over the place, I know. But in the beginning of the movie, when you have, was it the Wind Traders, I think? That's what they were called. I'm pretty sure they're new, right? So you have the Wind Traders. And I'm like, okay, this is an interesting way to start it off. I like the leader of it. I'm like, this is cool. And then they finally get on going. I'm like, obviously there's going to be conflict coming here. And they had, what do they call them? Scavengers or something? Who were like the Fire and Ash tribe, whatever you want to call them. And you have the main character there, and she's menacing. Honestly, she's menacing. I'm like, whoa. And they're causing so much chaos, and the way they use literally fire was pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. The thing is, I wish they explored them more. I feel like they didn't explore their lore enough. Like what their tribe really was. I feel like more could have been done for that, considering the runtime as well, right? Like considering the movie was over 3 hours, I feel like it didn't get explored enough when it should have. Because they were pretty interesting. I feel like it would have been, at least for me, cool to figure out. Because we did get to know a bit about the main character and stuff, but I mean, like, the actual tribe in general, we didn't really get to know as much. We saw some of them, like, their, I guess, rituals or whatever, but I don't know, I feel like it wasn't explored as much as it could have been. But also her relationship with, was it Miles, right? They were like a dynamic duo. They're like a super team for like a good portion of that movie. I'm like, wow, these guys are really gonna do it, huh? Really gonna do it. I'm like, how are they gonna get out of this? When I saw them pretty much just force Jake's hand and, you know, have him turn himself in, I'm like, wow, that's crazy. Yeah, they're very good at their villain roles. What else? I guess another moment in this movie was when that bum human dude. Oh my god, you know what I'm talking about. He's like in charge of all the harm that's caused to the animals and stuff, to the creatures, bro. When that guy got slimed out, oh my goodness. That was the most satisfying thing ever. Even I think in Wave Water, if I'm not wrong, that guy was being a bum back then too. I remember hating that guy in part 2. Bro, he got slimed out. I'm so happy. That was satisfying too. It put like his legs, like the, you know, half his body, his lower body in it. Boom. Snap those legs off. Let's go, man. Get out of here. Get out of here. That's what you get. Man, that was such a good moment. And like for the people saying like the movie wasn't emotional, I don't get it. Like the story's not like I'm not gonna act like the story is like the, you know, like some absolutely like masterpiece type thing, but this is still a very good story, I'd say. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I thought it worked. The moments where it needed to be emotional, it worked. It literally worked. Like, if you watch the movie without any emotion, I generally think you don't have any humanity in yourself. I don't think you're human. You literally, you don't have any type of emotions. You don't have no feelings for people or life. You know what I mean? There's no way you walked out of the movie and you're like, I didn't feel anything. There's even jokes in there. There's moments of anger, sadness. You had everything you wanted. Like, I genuinely don't know what else you wanted. And just seeing the whole Sully family, right? They're going through the motions throughout this movie, right? But at least by the end, it's resolved, right? Like it's a satisfying ending as well. Like in the ending when they're fighting all the ships are getting sucked up by by Mother, right? By the Mother, who's like essentially the god, right? Their god. When they finally call for her and she gets there. She helps out. All the metal stuff's getting sucked up. Like I noticed, I'm like, oh shoot, it's all the metal stuff. It's getting sucked up. At least that's what I saw. Like all those ships, boats, they're all getting sucked up. They're all metal, and it's because metal's poison, right? It proves there. Even like another theme, the metal ships which were used to just like bomb even the submarines. Those were made of metal as well, right? All stuff's getting sucked up. They were all used to cause harm because metal poisons, right? And I'm like, bro, this is, I don't know if it's just me if I'm like overrating this aspect of the movie and the whole metal thing, but it's so good. It's literally so good. It's perfectly done in my opinion. But yeah, like you see everything sucked up while they're having like the whole, I guess, big boss fight at the end between Jake and Miles, with also, you know, Spider occasionally trying to do something. And Miles jumps off, bro. This after there's a lot of times in this movie where Miles could have literally easily just, you know, slammed out Jake, but for the sake of the kids, especially Spider, he decided not to. And then they kind of got to a stalemate again. I found a stalemate at the end, and then he just, bro, I forget who it was. Someone wanted to kill him. I think the rest of the Sullys wanted to kill him because they didn't know what's going on. And then dude just jumps off, bro. And then he thought, I don't know what happened, what he thought was gonna happen. Like, and then he just, yeah, he finally feels the pain of the fire, and you know, he starts like kind of like screaming agonizing pain. So I don't know what he thought there, but if I'm not wrong, they didn't show him actually like his like completely dead. So I'm gonna assume until otherwise proven that he's still alive, unless I'm wrong for that. Let me know in the comment section down below. So yeah, that was another good part as well. But like I was saying, I didn't finish my thought here, but the wind, was it the wind traders? I think that's what they're called. When they started getting attacked by the Fire and Ash people, there was the one thing I was not expecting, bro. There was a suicide bomber. I'm like, am I seeing this properly? She just instructed one of her tribe people to just go do it. I'm like, there's no way. This dude just went on it because it's like kind of like floating balloons essentially. You know what I mean? They're rides, but yeah, and just so that everything burns down and the rides go down. I'm like, this is insane. And also to get Jake Sully's son. I'm like, this is insane. This is insane levels of hatred. Like, that was one of the most extreme moments in the movie for me. I genuinely was shocked. I'm like, there's no way that actually happened. That moment paired with the whole son thing where he almost shot himself, and what was the other moment? There's another moment here. And then Jake almost killing Spider. Those are three very serious moments. And I thought they tackled all these moments very well, especially the one about with the son and suicide. I thought that was done very well, honestly. Yeah, I thought it was very well done. The approach to it, the messaging was very good. I think because it got me, teary eyed. So I feel like, yeah, the job was done there. So I watched this movie in IMAX 3D, HFR. I was fortunate enough to watch it, and so my experience is gonna be different compared to someone who was, for example, watching it in just regular, right? So if you're able to, I'd recommend watching it in IMAX 3D because it's a stellar. It's amazing. Like, I didn't get to watch Wave Water in IMAX 3D, so I guess I wasn't as high on it as other people were, but I still enjoyed the movie. But yeah, watching this in IMAX 3D was insane, bro. It was absolutely insane. Like, absolute gorgeous stuff. When even when they're flying around, like the aerial sequences, oh my goodness, I loved it. Like, even the way they opened up the film, right? Great, I love that. There was, I think, near like the middle portion, maybe like after the first hour or so, somewhere in between the first hour and second hour, I think it was. There was like that middle portion where it got a bit slow. I wouldn't say boring necessarily, but it felt like it was winding down at moments there. And the length, it was just over 3 hours, and I wouldn't say it didn't feel like 3 hours. Okay, not at all. But also, it didn't feel like it was short. I feel like it was just fine. It felt fine. Okay, the pacing was like nor good or bad. And yeah, like I said, this story, because it was Wave Water, an extension Wave Water, like one story, but they split into two. There are similar beats. Like when people said there's similar beats, it is true. There's a lot of moments where I'm watching the movie, like, wait, this reminds me of Wave Water, which it makes sense. So you can't really knock the movie for that when it's literally an extension of that story. It's the second half of that story. But yeah, I think that's generally what I wanted to talk about. Everything in here. Yeah. And also another example of humanity, right? Especially like pretty much proving Jake's wife wrong about how humans, they're the pink people, how not all of them are bad, right? You can't be thinking like that. Because the one guy helped Jake out, that marine biologist, right? He didn't have to, but he saw Jake as a hero, right? And he didn't like the stuff that was going on, so he freed Jake. So no example there. But anyways, I really enjoyed this movie. If you've seen it, let me know down below. Did you like this movie or not? I think I'm gonna go rewatch it eventually because I need to watch the first Avatar, Way of Water, and then watch this, and I'll get more out of it. You know what I mean? But even without rewatching those and just going kind of, I guess, blind into this one because I haven't seen this for a while. Those other ones, still thoroughly enjoyed it, bro. This experience, you gotta be in the movie theaters for this if you can. This is one of those movies, like, yeah. Like, but then again, the story is not weak by any means, okay? People are saying that, they're tripping, okay? Rotten Tomatoes critic score, okay? Just go and watch for yourself, and you'll more than likely enjoy it. But if you've seen the first two Avatar movies and didn't like those, this is not gonna, win you over. It's not gonna change your mind. Anyways, let me know what you think down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next one. Peace.